Hi there, Elizabeth. How you doing?
Survival of the fittest.
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing
All
pretty
right.
good.
What can we help you with today, or what do you have for us?
So my daughter, she's 6 years old, started school this year, so she's got a lot more friends and kind of everybody in the area is definitely they go to church and believe in the Christian God, and we fairly recently kind of left that, but she doesn't really remember going to church and going to all the fun things like VBS and Sunday school and all that, and now she's at this point where she's upset that we don't go to church and upset that she doesn't get to do the things like VBS, and I my husband and I are just unsure of how to explain to her in a way that she'd understand, like, why we don't go, and, like, our biggest thing is, like, it harmed us. We don't wanna put her through that. We want her to have a pretty well-developed brain before she, you know, decides on religion if she does. Yeah.
John, do you have thoughts?
Well, yeah. Well, so we handle it with my son is, I mean, I guess I really haven't had to handle it too much because, like I'll ask him, sort of like to take a barometer, I guess, as a barometer of his care for it. I ask him like, do you want to know about God or do you want to know any of these kind of things? And I kind of leave the conversation open to him, talking to him
Mhm,
about that. But yeah, I mean, he's in a little bit different situation because, he doesn't like going to like big group things and doing group things and stuff of that nature.
mm,
So he didn't really miss out on anything. And, he has friends and I'm sure that they go to church, but, he doesn't really miss out on that kind of stuff. But how I probably would have handled it if he, was missing out is, I guess I would just explain to him like, well, like we just simply don't go, to that church anymore. But maybe we can figure out like a play date kind of situation. Do you can find like secular alternatives, either play dates or there's
mhm,
probably I don't know if you've looked for groups in your area, but I know that the few groups in my area that are here, they actually have like other members with kids and, they take them to the park, like, all together so that they can all play and things of that nature.
mhm,
So, I mean, I think that there could be good alternatives to it, and I think
mhm,
that the only thing maybe that your child might be missing out on is just that interaction with other kids, and I think that providing that sort of a play date or just providing that interaction in a different way could potentially satisfy, that need that they seem to have. I mean, at least I guess from a parental point of view, that's how I would tackle
mhm,
it, but I'm
mhm.
I'm I'm not like a professional in that area at all. What are your thoughts there, Paul?
Well, my kids were by the time I left my religion, my kids were in their teens and were kind of already past the point where the all that fun stuff was going on. But I can very much imagine why someone would the missing out. Like my friends are in a club that my parents won't let me join. If you just take religion
Mhm,
out of it, it's just, well, that sounds like that sucks. There's a club that might won't. I do think I think that you're very right in thinking that you maybe want to lay out burden your child with the kind of harms that you're familiar with and that I've seen in this community and have experienced myself. I definitely think that's too much to lay on somebody, especially if they're going to internalize that. They're actually may get mad at their friends, right? Who didn't choose to be born in religious families either. So I think that's wise to maybe not lay out all that stuff. I do think it's important though to never lie to your kid. So if she's asking,
mhm,
if she cares enough to ask about those details, yeah, find a way to put it in an age appropriate way. But I would just very much echo. It sounds like what your, I think you say your daughter was that correct, Elizabeth? Um,
yeah,
she sounds like she's missing uh, out on some fun. So I think probably the right way to do that is to find her some fun, just like all of us adults. When I left religion, I lost my friends, I lost my family, just for all that stuff,
mhm,
and I needed a social place to go. Now there was Recovering from Religion, which is a great organization for adults, That's not the same thing for kids. So you might need to you might, what John said, you might need to more actively work. Hey, is there a craft club that meets on Sunday mornings, or is there a, or do you just gather friends of hers on Sunday mornings and you make that the pattern, or is it family time? Is that, we do, we have a, what I chose to do is I created an alternate Sunday morning ritual with my kids. Um, that involved family that we always did every Sunday in the same way. So it got kind of some of that same ritualistic tradition, positive tradition style thing. So you might just want to build other traditions that you say, well, no, our tradition on Sunday morning is this fun thing that we do. It's we make waffles and play a board game, or we go to the zoo, or like, or we do get together with friends, or we go to a basketball club. There's lots of different ways to build
Mhm.
positive things that are happening at the same time so that, she doesn't feel like she's sitting at home and being the one left out. Those are my thoughts, I
Okay.
guess. Yeah, there's, like, websites like Meetup, and some of those kind of things are great for finding kid-friendly activities, and if you can find one that does it on a regular basis on a Sunday, all the better.
Okay. Yeah, I like the idea of, like, starting kind of like a tradition to do on Sundays, and, part of the thing too is her grandma, my husband's mom, does talk about God with her,
Mm,
um, does still go to church and stuff. She does not know that we're atheists yet,
mm,
and so is my sister and brother-in-law, so both of her 2 kids are atheists now. She doesn't know that any of us are. We haven't said anything yet just 'cause we feel it would hurt her more, and it hasn't affected us until this point with our daughter.
right,
And she talks about, grandma talks about God, grandma talks about all of these things, and it kind of ends up being like a little bit of this, like, heated discussion with her. She's just very frustrated, and we do get out with her, like, we have play dates, and the nice thing about being in a small town is everybody kind of goes to the same park, and yeah, we are pretty involved in the community and with our friends. You know, I think it's just that, like, everybody else kinda has this one belief, whereas we're very different from that.
right. So I got a little bit confused there. Did you say your parents do not know that you're non-believers? Or like, what got
Well, my
heated if they.
husband
Oh, okay.
sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's my
Yeah, no,
husband's
that's all right.
mom, and
Okay.
yeah, and then when our
Um,
daughter talks to us, she's very upset.
right. I think you just also need to brace yourself for that. At some point, your daughter is going to out you, because kids are not really great at, and nor should they be, at contextually keeping secrets, especially, from people
Yeah,
that they love or trust or to understand. So, you probably want to have some contingency plans in place for when those beans get spilled against your desires.
definitely.
You probably have already thought of that, but yeah. Well, I was outed in ways that I wasn't intending to be, and it definitely did cause more harm than if I had laid some groundwork. So that's the other thing. You might want to start laying some groundwork in terms of, I often suggest that people try to pick away at some doctrines that aren't like critical to their beliefs, but like, you say, hey,
Mhm,
what do you think? What do you think this idea that maybe aliens are demons? Does that sound right to you? Or, what are
mhm,
some of the side things? Or maybe not everyone goes to hell, or maybe hell is finite instead of infinite. And just see if you can slowly start letting them know that you doubt some of the side stuff, they'll be less shocked when it's like, oh,
mhm.
I saw this coming. They believe in the main one. But that's,
Oh, yeah.
your mileage may vary.
Mhm.
And I guess thinking about for the future, which I'm guessing this what I'm about to bring up is probably not a possibility right now, but in the future, like, do you think that she would be the kind of person that would respect boundaries? Because like I feel like at some point you would probably need to have a discussion about having a boundary with how she talks to your child about it. Because I know I had to have that kind of conversation with some people about my child, like, please, I'd rather you not talk to him like about God and all this. And it really wasn't a question about whether or not like we believed in God. It was more like, well, I just, I don't want you to be, talking to my son about religion kind of thing. So I don't know if they would be like the kind of person that would respect that kind of boundary, but I know at least I personally had to set that kind of boundary with a few.
Yeah, she is somebody who's very respectful of boundaries, and my husband and I, we've been having discussions about this a lot more lately, and this is oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's coming. We know that this is a thing that is about to happen, happening at a faster rate than we had expected. So we're kind of like, trying to get our ducks in a row, like, okay, we got to talk about these things now. But I think that definitely is a conversation that will be happening very soon.
Okay. Yeah, and I would just say setting healthy boundaries is gonna. I would think that it would be a very important thing to do, especially concerning a child, and also
Hmm.
with yourself, because those boundaries can be pretty important to maintaining good relationships with people that are not atheists.
Hmm.
But definitely call back and let us know how all this, even if it's someone else hosting, we would love to get an update to hear how it's playing out.
Yeah.
Awesome. That sounds wonderful.
All right, Elizabeth. Well, good luck with that, and I guess we'll just talk to you if you call in again. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a good evening.
All
Good
right.
evening.
You do the same.
Bye.
Bye.